Painting is one of the easiest things to do when it comes to DIY. You can paint furniture, walls, and even canvases. But what most people don't know is you can take the paintbrush to rugs, carpets, and mats. By using the right paint, of course, like chalk paint. This paint is versatile and it adheres to many surfaces, like stone, wood, and even glass. But did you know it can also be used to be painted on textiles, fabrics, and upholstery? That means mats and rugs. So, update and upcycle an old rug, or simply bring bright designs to an existing plain rug. Either way, you're going to enjoy this DIY project because it's lots of fun, it's creative, and it's easy. The materials that you'll need for this project are the following: a rug or mat of your choice, some chalk paint, a measuring tape or measuring ruler, some paint brushes, a sponge roller and a tray, some masking tape or painter's tape, and you're good to go. What you're going to start with is you need to get your design right. So this one, I want to paint most of the mat. Guys, you can use your measuring tape or ruler to really set out and measure different patterns on the mat. But I'm going to freestyle it a bit more today by just using my painter's tape. And I can already see there's parts that I don't want painted and parts that I do want painted. I don't want the edging of the mat painted. I quite like that and I want to keep that. So let me start by cornering off and protecting that. Make sure your lines are clean as possible. So remember guys, to take your time and make sure that the plan out and the layering of the tape is perfect. So the border of my mat is taped up. Now it's time to do the geometric pattern in the middle. Even though it's very freestyle in its geometric shapes that we're going for in lines, you can still really plan it. So I'm going to start in the corner here. And already you can see these nice angles that are starting to take shape. One over here, I quite like this shape. So as I said guys, you can be creative with this, be fun, but let there be some method in your madness because then the project will always look that much nicer when you're done. Okay, so I'm really happy with my freestyle geometric design here that I've got on my rug. Now we can start with the painting. So I've decanted my chalk paint. And I'm going to use a sponge roller. So pull my tapes down nicely. Little bit of a tip guys, because this is a very textured rug, I don't want to go in too heavy-handed and too hard on the first layer of paint. You want to keep it very light. This is to limit bleeding and to give really, really clean lines. Okay, so the chalk paint is dried and I layered about 2 coats on, 2 very, very light coats, just to give the color enough pop. Now this is an optional step, but it is recommended if you want your paint work and your chalk paint and your rug to last that much longer. Now with chalk paints, there's the traditional clear waxes or the dark waxes that we use, but now there's a clear protective top coat that you apply just like you do any varnish or clear top coat. And this one, it's matte, so it dries clear and doesn't give it a sheen at all, which is exactly what we want.
If you're looking for a more classic look, why not try out stripes? Stripes add a touch of detail without overpowering your decor scheme. Once your stripes are masked out, simply dab the brush over them to create a simple yet effective rug.
Great, so the 2 designs are done, and as you can see guys, let your creative juices flow and you can really, really get creative with any design you want on any rug. Okay, now it's time for the big reveal. Sticky business. And as you can see, color is really starting to pop. I'm super happy on how this interior rug turned out, but I want to tell you I got another DIY trick up my sleeve. You take those same DIY elements and methods and you apply it to the outdoors. So I have an outdoor mat here that you put just before your front door, and I've got some cool elements here and I'm going to show you how to make this pop. So the materials that you'll need for this cute little project is your front door mat, some stencils, some chalk paint, newspaper, and some masking tape or painter's tape. Okay guys, so step one is your design, of course. You want to layer it out, you want to get your head around it, you want to see what speaks to you. Look at this. I love this flower stencil over here, so I like that. And I like some words stencils over here, and I'm going to stencil out hello. Right, so I'm going to place the stencils here along the line and the edging of our front door mat. Now, as you can see, I don't have another L, okay? It only comes with one L. So I'm going to do half the word of hello and then the other half later. So I'm going to grab my painter's tape and some scissors. And I'm going to make sure that this is secure on the mat so it doesn't move when I'm going to spray it. And at the same time, obviously because we're using spray paint, I'm going to mark out the rest of the mat that I don't want to have color or chalk paint on. And we're going to cover that. So let's just make sure that this is covering nicely, that there's no gaps, and I'm going to secure it down. Guys, painter's tape is relatively inexpensive, so don't be afraid. Use as much as you need to rather secure the project than be sorry at a later stage. Now, I don't want this spray painted and I don't want this spray painted. So let's use some newspaper and some painter's tape. Okay, everything's covered with newspaper, and as you can see, the only thing I see is what I'm going to cover with some chalk paint. And if you're chalk paint fans like me, it's nice to know that it comes in a can now, which is perfect for this project. Here are some spray painting tips. Make sure that you hold the can at least 10 to 30 centimeters away from the object that you are spray painting. Also, it's good to protect the surface, any work surface that you're working on, before spray painting with either a drop sheet or newspaper. And make sure you're in a well-ventilated area, and always use light horizontal or vertical strokes and layer one thin layer of paint at a time and allow to dry before the next layer. Look how cute this looks. I love the simple design. Now I can place it by my front door without buying a new mat. So you thought painting was just for walls and ceilings. Well, why not take it to the floor and get creative with your mats, rugs, and carpets?